Before we move on, I want to talk a bit about causality. We have seen that film budgets tend to be positively correlated with the box office revenue. Let's think a bit about the potential causal relations that might exist behind this correlation. First, we can think of how an increase in budget might cause a greater revenue. That's easy. Probably more budget makes the movie better, and thus more people spend money to watch it. What about the reverse causal relation? That is, a greater revenue is causing the film to have a better budget. I'll let you think about it. You can pause the video and come back when you have a solution. Welcome back. So, how can a greater revenue cause a bigger film budget? You might think that it doesn't make sense because the movie budget comes before the box office revenue. You first decide the budget, then shoot the movie, publish it, and then the box office comes and you can count the number of tickets sold. Well, that's simply not true in business, that you cannot have this relationship. Studio executives tend to set the movie budget based on the revenues they expect to make. That might depend on the type of movie, on if it's the sequel or a remake of a popular film, or it could depend on the cast of the movie. In that case, the budget would depend partially on the expected revenue, and good executives are supposed to be good at guessing that. Then we can think about what might cause both the budget and the revenues to increase, even if they aren't directly related. I'll let you think about that too, and you can pause the video and come back when you have a solution. Welcome back. So, I hope you found a solution about what could cause both the budget and the revenues to increase. One thing that could do that is government stimulus. In the case of government stimulus, studios probably have a better access to capital, and they might raise their budget as a consequence. Also, after government stimulus, people might have more money and then spend more money on movie tickets. So, government stimulus could be an omitted variable and affect both the budget and the revenue. You could come up with other stories, and they might be true or not. Or you could have a mix of different stories being partially true, with each of the factors contributing a little bit to the overall mechanism. The data will say nothing about that. The data will just say that there is some relationship between these variables. What the causal mechanisms are, it's just for you to guess. Finally, if you were a movie executive, would you believe that an increase in budget by 1 million would result in a 3 million increase in revenues? Hopefully not. While there is likely a causal relationship between movie budgets and revenue, it's almost certainly lower than 3 times. All of the potential challenges to causality that we just mentioned would create an upward bias, overestimating the true causal effect. So, you might use the data to have an intuition of what might be happening, but don't necessarily trust the results because it's just correlational, it's not causal.